And we are live. Welcome, 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 everybody. This is the Men of the Metaverse podcast. I am Beach Dad. I am here with my best friend Lewis from My Life, My Money Media. Lewis, how you doing today?
I'm doing just fine. I discovered something weird this week, Brandon.
What's that?
I've been having like pain in my back and all this kind of shit. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
God. Excuse me. I've been having pain in my back and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah, I got you. What's up?
I started to gradually like do like stretch and kind of like
Mm-hmm.
work it out
Right.
and put isolate at the end.
Mm-hmm.
How my stuff feel better now?
Well, that's what your body actually needs. And like I said, we was going to do a health presentation for men, because we want to encourage men to be healthy and stretch and do yoga and stuff like that because your body actually needs that as long with water and, exercise and lifting and all that kind of stuff. So we will do a slide about that. I'm glad you're feeling better though.
Well, it ain't all the way, but it's weird. They say if it hurts a little bit, you're
Mm,
supposed to give it some rest.
right.
I said, man, I've been resting this day so long. Let me stretch
Yeah.
it a little bit. And,
Right.
and then the next day it felt better after.
And we kind of forget about that kind of stuff like stretching. Like we remember when we was young, they said you got to warm up and stretch and do all that before you play basketball. You just like, nah, we'll just go out there and hoop. You can kind of do that when you're younger, but you can't do that when you're older. You need to warm up, especially if you go to the gym too. You still need to warm up before you lift weights. Some people just walk in the gym, start lifting weights. That's not how your body is supposed to get better or get stronger or heal. If
here's
you
what
know,
here's
go
what
ahead.
Brandon don't know about me.
Go ahead.
Eric was the trainer. Me and Eric did
Correct.
warm up.
Okay,
When I was
correct.
when I was 19, we went to the basketball gym, and
Hmm.
one goal is around about 9'8", 9, 9, 10 inches tall.
Uh-huh.
And I threw my back out dunking the ball.
And you didn't warm up that time, or
And
you
I
did?
did I did
Right.
not warm up.
Right. You go
And
in there just jumping with all your might, stretching all your body out, and it's not ready to do all that yet. So
and
yeah,
I
that's what
could
go ahead.
I couldn't walk for a week. And the
Mhm.
doctor gave me some stretches to do. So ever since then, I do those stretches before I play basketball.
Right. And if you think about it, most basketball games, the players are stretching on the floor for a lot of the time, before the game starts. They got people actually stretching them out, so they can be ready to play and do all that stuff without having pains or cramps or whatever. So,
Now, people may not know why you need to stretch, but basically, I know you can't see this. Basically, your muscles are not but tendons, and it's
mhm,
like a rubber band. So when a rubber band is cold, if you pull it, it'll pop easy. But if you warm it up, it's
right,
able to stretch without breaking.
right.
And that's basically what your muscles do.
That's a good point. That's interesting. We didn't even try to plan to go there today, but that's
I'm
some
gonna
good
tell you.
advice there.
And guess what, Brandon?
What's up?
Later tonight, I'm rest. I didn't do nothing today. But I'm gonna ice my damn back later on the night, Jack. I got me some ice packs. I'm gonna put that thing around that shoulder blade. And I'm
Or
telling
try that tape. What is that? Kinetic tape or something like that. I used it one time, and
man, that tape
that
costs too much.
yeah, it's expensive. So,
That tape costs too much.
right.
Yeah.
NBA players use it. It's not cheap. You can get some on eBay or Amazon or something like that. But just more health tips. But what you want to talk about today? What you want to jump in first? Did you want
All
to
right.
talk about the cops?
You could talk about the cops. I want to try to hit it at a different angle. Like,
Yeah,
let's
yeah,
just
yeah, for
don't
sure.
like no gossip or nothing. But I'll let you start off since you got the thing up here.
Okay. Well, first I'm gonna ask you. You did see the video? Because
I
I'm. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I saw the video one time from the telepole pole angle. I didn't want
Hmm.
to see it no more.
Yeah. Well, I saw that angle, then I saw some of the body cam footage, and it's just it seemed like these guys were on a mission to do whatever they wanted to. Like they weren't cops after the guy kind of ran. They just was like, you know what? I want to get back. I'm not gonna say the F word because we're trying to do better on this YouTube channel, but I'm gonna really hurt this dude and I'm gonna
Get
get
back.
away with it. I'm gonna get away with it too. We're gonna lie. We're gonna say he was high. We're gonna lie. Look at him over there. He's on drugs, and they like to do that a lot with suspects to try to, put the blame and shift the blame on them. And these officers have had complaints before in the past, and it's like, who are you going to believe? You're going to believe an upstanding officer behind this? He got a flag behind him, American flag. These are, I mean, why would they lie? Look at them. Do they look like liars? They got the American flag behind them. They stand behind the blue wall, quote unquote. You know, so why would we think they would do something like this? You know what I'm saying? How do you feel about it?
Brandon, I said this a few weeks ago. My word is better than most police officers' words.
I think we did say something like that, you know, because these are just regular people. And I think people got to get away from thinking cops are they're just always going to do the right thing. I know they're supposed to, but they're still human at the end of the day.
Well, Brandon, when you become a member of the government, you are not regular people anymore. You're supposed to conduct yourself and represent your principality in the correct way. And if you do not represent yourself in the correct way, you need to be dealt with.
But how though? How should you still have a job? Like, and who is policing the police?
Well,
is it just police?
In this case, they need to get the death penalty on all these guys right here.
You think so,
Brandon?
I'm not disagreeing or agreeing. I'm just listening. Go ahead.
You stand a person up so the other man can hit him in his face.
Right. For no reason. For no reason.
You stand him up again.
Right. Like
so somebody can hit him in his face.
And one guy tried to kick him so hard he almost fell over. Like and I think they're out on bail, right? Didn't they get out on bail?
I didn't look too deep. I don't look too deep. I hope they still in jail.
No, I think they got out on bail. Like, these people are a menace to society, basically, and they are going to be protected by some cops. I'm pretty sure some cops are going to stand with them. And you know, are these white cops, Lewis, or are these black people? These are black. These cops are black. So
how Brandon gonna ask a damn dumbass question like that?
Because you know
the picture on the screen.
But you know, people. I know it. But somebody might be listening to our podcast, so we do have this on Spotify. At some point, we'll have it on Spotify. I haven't uploaded, of course, but yeah, like we talk about cops, but cops are not just something that's white. It's cops are black too. The cops are Latino. Like all these different people are cops.
Black cops, white cops, Latino cops, brown cops, Asian cops, they are all the same. They are all the same.
And I think that's what people think. Like we just think it's white cops doing stuff and killing black people. No, it's just cops. We're not necessarily saying white people do it, but white people are majority cops as well. So sometimes it's the majority of them doing the stuff. But
now, Brandon,
go ahead.
Now, history does tell us when a black cop steps up and try to stop an illegal crime that another cop is committing, that cop either gets disciplinary actions, that cop would never get advancement, or that cop would get sued and fired. And it's been multiple cases when this happened. A lady in New York, a black lady, white cop was choking a man out. She said, "Get off of him." They tried to pull him off, which they fired her.
Right. I remember that story. But
they said you can't get no benefits. That's what they do to you.
And that's why people start just falling in line and doing whatever they need to do just to keep their job and not tell on other officers. But let me ask you this. What if the victim was white? Do you think it would be the same type of thing? Can you see these 5 black guys doing that to a white person? Or do they just know not to even try to do it?
No, if the victim was white, these guys would be shot on sight. And here's another thing these guys messed up. Because, you know, I talk about some monkey people, right? Now, they know they some monkeys. Allegedly. That they should have had 2 white cops there for that protection.
right. But I think they had the badge on. They figured, you know, they've done this before. Do you think they've done something like this before?
Yes, Brandon.
Of course. So you do a little bit, you get away with it. You do a little more, you get away with it. You start feeling like you're invincible. So this wasn't nothing new for them, because you could tell they wasn't even hesitant in kicking and punching like they do. I ain't never seen somebody like they'll punch you to the ground, pick you up, and then try to punch you again. Like, they clearly were comfortable with all this, and the people holding them, they were comfortable too. Like, you didn't feel any type of they didn't feel any type of way emotionally with that young man, even though they got the same skin color. You know, they could have saw themselves in them, and you know, they had a task force called Scorpion or whatever it is They're supposed to be cleaning up the streets. That's not how you clean up the streets.
Mm-mm. In North Carolina, I forgot the town. They hired a black police chief, a black lady.
Mhm.
She said, "I want to change some things the way we do this in this town." Guess what the police officers did, Brandon?
What?
They all quit
Mm,
because they did not want to be held accountable for none of their actions.
I got you. I got you.
And that's it. That's who you have working here in these things, man.
Right. But
But
this
it
is
ain't
my
surprising.
no, it's not surprising. But when we try to call out cops and doing stuff, they think we're overreacting and it's just a couple people doing this. No, it's a lot of cops doing this kind of stuff, and people are protecting them just because they want to keep their job and they don't want to be looked at a different way.
Now, Brady, do you know how the policing started in America?
How? Go ahead.
They
I know what it
started-
was. Go ahead, but I think people forget.
Policing evolved from the slave patrol.
Correct.
And slave, what was the slave patrol, Brandon?
Well, I know people don't like to think about this or talk about this, but at a time, white people owned black people, and some black people tried to run away. So they
Okay.
had a slave patrol looking for runaway slaves so they can return you to your master so you can get beat. That's what it was. I know people want to say they don't see color and we're all humans. No, that's just not what the past says that took place. But go ahead.
So you saying a man
Mhm.
earlier this month jumped out of car, started to run,
Right.
and a group of patrolmen
Mhm.
call up to her and whoop his butt.
Right.
Ain't that the
Basically.
same?
I mean, it
thing?
is right. It is, and I know we didn't really talk about this earlier because we could have before we went into this. What should that young man have done? Did he do everything right? Do you think he shouldn't have panicked? I mean, how do you think he should have handled it? Do you ever run? Like I think a lot of people get scared and want to run. Should you run? Is there any? Go ahead.
I would tell Brandon or any black person close to me, male, do not run.
Mm-hmm.
I would say that because if you run, now if they get you, they go get some get back. Just say if I was a police officer and you run, first of all, I won't chase you. But if you ran and fail and
Then
I can get you, I owe you 2 licks. I owe you 2 licks.
But maybe
running.
they do have some kind of, things in their mind where it's like, okay, well, if I got to run, now I'm going to really make you pay. That's not how they should be operating.
Brandon, I said 2 licks, Brandon. I didn't say a beat down.
It shouldn't be anything but a charge. It shouldn't be.
I said 2 licks, Brandon.
But see, you do the 2 licks, and it feel good when you getting that justice. You thinking you getting justice for them making you run.
No, it's called corrective action, Brandon.
And maybe that's the defense they'll use. Be like, you know what? I got a little out of control. I blacked out. I shouldn't have done that. We all shouldn't have done that.
Brandon, did these people get 2 licks? Or they beat the man down for 5 how many every minute was.
Right. They went overboard. I don't think they thought he was gonna pass away. If he didn't pass away, it would just be a story. They was like, yeah, we had to rough him up because he tried to reach for my gun. I think they said some stuff like that. That's all it takes. And you good to go. Your lieutenant gonna try to cover for you, and everything will be okay. They're not gonna look into the tapes. They're not gonna look at your body cam. I think one guy was trying to cover his body cam while they was talking about covering up the, what really happened. So I don't think if he passed away, we would be here now.
Now imagine how bad you have to be beaten that you die 3 days later while in a professional hospital, a place where they could keep you alive.
Right.
And they beat you on that one day. They killed you on that. They killed you 3 days earlier, Brandon.
Basically. And they could have gave you medical attention. They could have gave him medical attention a little faster, but they just wanted to let him sit there, and they were saying he was high or what XYZ when they knew better. But go ahead.
The slave patrol, like Brandon said, their job was to chase black people running
running for freedom now.
Running for freedom, right? Or running if they stole some biscuits or something.
Right.
You got a lot of black people was beaten because they were stealing food, because being a slave, they did not feed you properly. Could that be wasting money?
Right.
But stealing, and they'll beat you. Now, Brandon, can you read that?
Yes. The origins of the modern day policing can be tracked back to the slave patrol. The earliest form of slave patrol was created in the Carolinas in the early 1700s, which was one mission to establish a system of terror and squash slave uprising, with the capacity to pursue, apprehend, and return runaway slaves to their owners. Tactics included the use of excessive force to control and produce desired slave behavior.
Now, I'll go give these guys, me and Brandon are from South Carolina. Since Black History right around the corner, I'm going to tell you what started all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Slavery was going on in the 1700s. And some folks in Carolina picked up the wrong slaves from Africa, Brandon.
Okay.
In this case, instead of having slaves from different tribes, they brought in slaves from the same tribe that spoke the same language.
Mm-hmm.
And in Africa, they was warriors.
Gotcha.
So they went to a plantation, those same groups speaking the same language, former warriors, went to a plantation in South Carolina. These slaves started to organize, talk to each other.
Right.
They started to communicate, and they did a rebellion. It's called the Stone Rebellion in South Carolina. These slaves went to the owners, the slave master, chopping off heads everywhere they went. And they said, we go take this all the way down to Florida, because when you get to Florida, Florida was run by the Spaniards, and they could have got rid of slavery by then in Spain. The Indians still had it, but we ain't going to say too much. So when this happened, the white folks got together and said, we cannot have Black people talk to each other. We cannot have Black people group together. We cannot have Black people to read or write. All because when these guys group together, talk to each other, they become a threat to us.
Right.
That's why when you see these cops, you watch this, Brandon. I could take 5 Black guys, put them in a white area. If I put a cigarette in somebody's hand in a book bag, I guarantee the cops go stop and pull them over and stand it up. I guarantee you.
For sure. Because
it's illegal for Black men to stand up or be around or communicate with each other. It's almost illegal.
Because it seemed as a threat and, an uprising, right? Like, do you think it's like traumatic, or they fear what we can do when we come together? Like, because we're not when we do come together, I'm talking about presently, when we do come together and rise up, it's not to get any get back. It's just to establish ourselves, and so we can do the right thing and build on our own. And there's nothing wrong with that. I think people have a problem, like we're trying to be segregated, or even if that's the case, like they should see other races see how we are and how we do each other clearly with this situation right here. All we're trying to do is better ourselves so we can love each other in the right way.
When Black people come together, that is one of the biggest threats in America. So on this channel, me and Brandon are 2 Black guys. We try to come together. And if we get more of us come together, we could form some power and some influence.
Right.
And that is a threat. Watch this, Brandon. Everybody was down when Black Lives Matters first came out, won't they?
Yeah, they were.
Because Black people came together. So to throw that off, they had to put some
funny business
other people, some funny pieces in it, and that messed it up. During the pandemic, when the pandemic first happened, when they had George Ford got killed, it was a Black gun group that marched down in Georgia Could
Yeah.
have been 300 guys with guns, black guys. You remember that, Brandon?
Yeah, I'm trying to think what the name of that group was. I kind of remember the leader. Dang, what was it called?
And guess what happened to the leader, Brandon?
He got FBI charges. They said
Out
he
of
was
nowhere.
trying.
Out of nowhere.
And he's gone. He's gone.
And he's gone. See, those group of black men walking in order like an army, a militia, your Bill of Rights, you got a right to form a militia.
All right.
They were strapped, organized. That was one of the biggest threats to America happened, man.
And we can't even remember his name now or the group's name. But I remember they were saying he tried to aim a rifle at a federal agent.
Brandon, and watch this. See, watch this. And this is how they do to you. Brandon said he tried to aim a rifle. In my recollection, they got him from Texas. So they got they got two things on you at the same time. You can't fight both of them.
You can't fight both of them, and you're gonna fold. And you know,
no, you ain't gonna fold. You gonna do the time.
But it's sad, and I think that's why a lot of people are scared to stand up and be that leader. Like, we don't necessarily need a leader. We just all need to come together, because I think when you have a leader or somebody to come after, they're going to come after him and they're going to take him out, him or her.
You know, some movie, I forgot, they used to have the leader, the person in charge of the military used to ride a horse.
Yeah.
But smart people said, I ain't gonna ride this horse because that make me a target.
Exactly.
I'm gonna get down in disguise in the group.
Yeah.
So
and be in the back a little bit.
And you got them punk ass leaders do be in the back, but you can lead from the back by motivating the people under you.
Correct.
But I don't believe you can't.
What leader has to lead by example?
Yeah, you can't lead me if you in the damn back. Like you take a boss, a boss can't be a good boss if he's in the office all day ain't doing that. Don't know, don't know what's going on.
But also a boss can't be a good boss if he's doing all the work that the workers are supposed to be doing too. So you have to find a good balance.
Correct. Now, Brandon, watch this. I'll go continue with this history lesson. I'm gonna read this. Slave patrols continue until the end of the Civil War and the passage of the 13th Amendment. Following the Civil War, during Reconstruction, slave patrols were replaced by military-style groups, aka the police, who was empowered to control and deny access to equal rights to free slaves. They relentlessly and systematically forced black codes, strict local and state laws. They regulated and restricted access to labor, wages, voter rights, and general freedoms from the former slaves. So a lot of this wording right here has a lot of things that's still in policing in 2023, ain't it, Brandon?
Yeah.
Military style groups. Now, I watched the show Andy Griffith. All right. Andy Griffith walked around with no weapon, Brandon. Because you know why?
Why?
They respected the badge. Right. That's what he say.
Correct.
So, but why?
But was it just the badge? Was it just the badge? I think color has something to do with it too.
Brandon, I watch too much now. Okay, on the Andy Griffith show, the white people will try to fight Andy Griffith at the same time. So you don't get it twisted. Barney, what's his name?
Barney Fife.
Barney Fife. He got in a lot of fights. So they respect the badge to a certain level.
Correct.
Just like what happened on January the 6th.
Right.
They saw those badges. Not today. So it's a lot of hypocrites in America.
Of course.
A lot of hypocrites.
But why is that? Like, why? I guess, do people feel like they're above the law whenever they feel like they can be above the law?
What people are you talking about?
With their group?
Saxons?
Yeah. Because do you think? I mean, because I know they can jump bad with the police, but can we jump bad with the police when we look the same?
Remember, laws are to them to benefit them and hurt
Right, correct,
us. I hate to
correct.
say that sounds bad, ain't it?
Yeah, but that's true though. And like I say, they put laws in place for a reason, and they knew what they were doing when they had these laws in place. And we, like I say, we were slaves, and they didn't even want to change that and make it into a thing. Like they didn't want to free us. And even when they did free us, they still held us. And even when they were forced to release us, they still oppressed us. And I think that's a part that people don't see. And that oppression just eased up, but it's still we're still being oppressed, and we're still being policed differently and governed differently.
Now, Brandon, what's that thing it's illegal to do to stand up at a certain place? Is it felicity? Well, you can't stand up.
What you mean stand up?
You it's like against the law in some places for a group of people to stand up like on a public street.
Oh yeah.
Soliciting?
Oh, soliciting. Yeah, that's soliciting. Yeah. I get what you say, yeah.
Now, does that even make sense?
No, it doesn't make any sense.
We in a free world in a public place, but if y'all don't do what we say, y'all move, y'all keep it moving.
Well,
we're gonna say y'all
soliciting. I guess they could, yeah, just say that you're doing that, like you're a group, or you're trying to sell something, or you're trying to push something, or you're blocking, you're
stand it up, lean it on the wall,
right. But no, that's a different one. What is that called? Is that soliciting? Not soliciting. It's but I know what you mean. But yeah, you're right. You if you just on the corner, just post it up like on a corner store or something like that. That's illegal if they wanted to enforce that. I get what you're saying. I'm not sure if that's the exact term or not, but yes.
Now, Brother, you want to read the next one?
Okay. In 1868, ratification of the 14th Amendment of the U.S. Constitution technically granted equal protections to African American, essentially abolishing black codes. Jim Crow laws and state and local statutes that legalized racial segregation swiftly took their place. By the 1900s,
municipalities,
yeah, I'm gonna skip that one, began to establish police departments to enforce local laws in the East and West, including the Jim Crow laws. Local, hit it again, because I ain't gonna be able to say municipalities. Lean on police to enforce and exert excessive brutality on African Americans who violated any Jim Crow laws. Jim Crow laws continued through the end of the 1960s.
All right, Jim Crow laws is basically, I'm gonna tell y'all Negroes where to stand, where to move, where to work, where to eat, where to live, and where to vote.
People want to act like this stuff never really even happened, but it did, and we can't just erase it and just move on like this stuff didn't halter. It didn't stop our growth. Like people got a head start, and we didn't. We got pushed back. And we're trying to get to the 0 point so we can begin moving forward.
Well, I'm trying to say, Brandon, every skin folks ain't these guys are not your friends.
What guys? The
these
black
guys in the picture.
I got you.
They are paid very well to uphold the basic roots of policing. And the roots of policing is excess brutality to black people, controlling black people, and that's what they what they exhibit.
But it's a lot of black cops. There's a lot of good cops, and there's a lot of people that want to do the right thing and want to protect and serve. But it's just hard without us reforming some of the stuff that is policing and how they govern different states. The whole attitude of police need to change. You don't need to be trying to just actively profile people and stop people at night. I mean, it just leads to the bad things. I'm not saying just because you're out, you should get a free pass, but they got to tone it down because people are going through a lot already, and you pull them over, they might not have their registration and all this, but it's just people are being pushed. They're going to push back some too, and then you're going to get aggressive. They're going to get aggressive, and we're going to have an outcome like this.
I watched a video clip this week from Highport, North Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
A black man, he was driving a Scat Pack Dodge.
Mm-hmm.
He passed a police officer. Him and the police officer made eye contact while he passed him. The police officer then pulled out and got behind him.
Mm-hmm.
The police officer then noticed that a piece of his license plate was covered up by a decal and pulled him over.
Okay.
Brandon, why did the police, after making contact, pull out and try to find something? Did he see that decal? Why he
across he didn't. No, he didn't. But they like their minds start processing. Okay, it's a Scat Pack, it's a Challenger, it's a Dodge, it's probably drugs. You know, that's just how they program to think or trained to think in a way. And like I say, they may be right. But is it necessary to start doing all this police work and try to figure out what's going on and pull this person over? Not really in my assessment.
And watch this. The man gave him a warning, right? Because the decal was coming up by the person he bought the car from. You know the little things.
Right. Yeah, I know they go around. Mm-hmm.
He gave him a warning. The next day, you know, just before he's about to leave, he said, "Sir, you got any guns or illegal stuff in that car?" Mm-hmm. He was like, "No, I'm a truck driver. You see, I got my DLL. Yep. Well, let's wait and let's bring the dogs out here to sniff it just in case." You see what I'm talking about, Brandon?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But they don't like to be wrong about their assessment and their prejudgment. So then they want to go to waste your time because that's your time, that's your money. You got to sit on the side of the road just because a regular person who's been deemed an officer, now he has power, he can do whatever he wants to you.
And I hate to tell you, this is what happens. Brandon may understand. You drive and make eye contact with a cop, he pulling your ass over.
Right. Because it does look suspicious, but you know, you gotta know when you grow into this and you kind of learn. I don't even look at police anymore because I'm not looking around no more like that. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. I'm going the speed limit. If I see a cop over there, if I look over there like this and looking like that, yeah, woo woo, that's what's happening next. So but if I'm just doing my own thing, I'm focused on the road, I'm focused on where I'm going. I haven't gotten pulled over since operating under that.
So you tell me you have to be submissive.
No, I'm doing my regular thing. It's a regular car.
Don't look at me. Don't look me in my eyes, boy. Look on the ground, boy. Don't look at me in my eyes.
And I'm not saying that's what's going on, but I live to see another day. I haven't been pulled over. My time hasn't been wasted. I see a cop car. Yeah, I see a cop car. It's a cop car. I may look over. I may see him, but I'm not. I know I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm in the right. I ain't got to worry about it. I'm gonna keep going with my day. I'm not turning my music down. I ain't doing none of that stuff no more. But you know, you'll do that back in the day. You'll try to make sure your seatbelt on. You trying to look at your speed. No, because other people don't have to worry about this stuff. So I'm not gonna worry about it either. And luckily, I haven't been pulled over or anything like that. So
audience, what Brandon just said is, cops, you cannot look them in. You cannot look at them.
You can't.
If you look at a cop and you black while you're driving,
tell me I'm wrong.
You're getting pulled over.
You are. Tell me I'm wrong. If you, I mean, that's just what it is.
I ain't looking at no cop. I tell you that. Right. Look at a cop in America. All the audience. This is the experience. This is the black experience right here.
Right. And this is our experience. We're entitled to our experience. You're entitled to your own experience.
You could be 100% legal.
Correct.
Everything is correct on your car. If those windows are tinted and your window was down and they can see your complexion and you made eye contact with the cop on the other side of the highway, he's driving around pulling you over.
Right. And on top of that, if you're black and you have a Dodge vehicle, you're getting pulled over. I'm sorry. If you got a Challenger or a Charger, they're gonna pull you over. They're gonna just think you just fit a profile that they have. They know you smoke weed. It might, depending on your state, it may be illegal, it may be legal.
South Carolina Senator Tim Scott. Think he was driving a Mercedes or a BMW. Allegedly, he looked at a cop and they pulled him over. And he's
really?
a damn United States senator.
And I think they gave him a hard time too, right? And he had to kind of explain who he was.
Yeah. You know, see, if I was Tim Scott right then, I said, oh, now I know he kind of, what color is his wife? You got a wife?
I don't know. We could look it up, but you know, we probably were right on our assessment.
If I was Tim Scott then, I said he may be delusional. I said he did me wrong. I would get this man fired. That's what I do. A senator could get a police officer fired if they wanted to.
Right.
Easy.
Or start working towards and speaking out about that type of stuff. Like
you want to get reelected, Brandon?
No, you won't. You won't.
So if I was Tim Scott, that man would be fired.
Right, but he can't even be mad because you're either going to be their puppet or you're going to be out of here. So you're either going to be trying to make changes for them, and that's why you got elected, because the majority got you elected, or you're going to be trying to work for your people, and we're going to get you out of here.
All right, Brandon, what's the next topic you got going on? What's your little thing you got?
Wait, pause. Let's see. Do you know who this couple is?
That's yes, we did a video on him.
Okay.
Blueface and his
Krishan Rock.
Yes, the former athlete, I think she is.
Yeah, she did.
From Baltimore.
Is she from Baltimore?
Okay. Well, she act like it, so she
is. Well, they're not gonna say they're forcing this on us, but a lot of people think this couple, well, not necessarily this couple, but they think she's in the right for how she acts towards him. And they kind of champion it. And, you know, when I see this kind of stuff with the black men in our comments, they're right. Like this toxic woman, you know, empowerment thing that they've got going on is kind of throwing off how naturally black women should be, or women in general should be. You shouldn't have that masculine energy and trying to fight and get jump in his face, and she called him the B word. I'm not gonna say it on here because we're trying to grow our channel, but is that how you handle conflict and when you're in a relationship, especially when it's on camera? Because I think she's assaulted him, she's hit him in the back of the head with glass. I think they kind of showed it on the reality show they have. If it was the other way around, he would be in jail. But since it's a woman, it's like, yeah, that's what she should be doing. If somebody's going to be talking to you crazy, that's how you handle it. And I don't think that's a good look. I don't think that's right. And I don't think we should be shown that kind of stuff.
Now, now, are we talking about this young lady right here?
We are.
Well, I just think they in a bad, you know, birds of the feather flock together.
That's correct.
If your friend next to you is a hoe, then your friend next on the side of you is a hoe. The person in the middle, yourself, you a hoe too. So
correct.
So both,
if you're comfortable with them,
are ratchet.
Correct.
Both are ratchet.
But is it a double standard though? Like, should she be getting away with this? Should we get championed? Like, because if he hit her, should we champion him and be like, yeah, that's how you put her in her place? If she's talking to you crazy, you should hit her.
Brandon, you already know the double standard, and in America, we need a double standard. So it's all right, ain't no big deal.
So it's okay. So
we know how the opposite side, a lot of the opposite gender works. They want everything their way and none of the responsibilities on the hard way.
I hear you, but what ended up? But you know, like I said, they in love. It's fun, it's cute when they fighting. But what if somebody takes it too far and we lose one of them? And it's like, wow, what we looking back, we should have did something. Somebody should have stepped in, but it's too late now because one of them is gone.
Brandon, look at these people on here. Who's stepping in to help who, Brandon? You know, if both of them get messed up in a car accident, I'll be drinking my coffee the next morning like ain't nothing happened.
I know you are, because you're not the average consumer, but this is what they showing the youth. They're showing people in their teens. Like, this is what they see, and they see them being put on television. They're getting checks. So influences people to do the same thing, so they follow suit. And it's not a lot of people doing the right thing, so it's not a lot of good examples of how to conduct yourself in a relationship. I was thinking the other day because I showed my daughter Family Matters. When's the last time you've seen a show like that on television, where it's a black family? Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
They ain't gonna show those no more. Only shows they show about black people now is Meet the Browns, is Goofy.
Right, it's either Goofy, we slow, or we fighting,
or sex.
Yeah, exactly. And we got away from that. Right. But like we were talking about how Good Times was, and just shows like that, they kind of tried to erase those shows because they probably looked at the data, was like, well, we could put this on, we could lead people the right way, but let's put some ratchet stuff on and see how that go. And it's like, they like that, so let's keep doing that. And we kind of got away from traditional stuff. What's that show where the black kids was in college, A Different World? Now they got The Real World. They got shows like that where it's not about the college experience. It's more about fighting.
Brandon, these are companies. Companies are here to make money. Only way you can make money is you got to give the consumer what they want. You, Brandon, brown skin, black man, you want the skanks. You want the tight jeans with your pants hanging off your booty. You want the drugs, and you want the ratchetness.
Do I want that, Brandon? Or is what I think I want? Because we got plenty of shows that we love, like Fresh Prince. We got Martin. We love those shows.
Brandon, those shows 30 years, they three decades old.
So what happened? Why did we stop making those shows? Did we devolve? But how do I not want it now?
Because you watch it, you downloading Blueface Tatiana music.
There you go. Right,
Tatiana.
Right. Tatiana, yes.
Yeah, you downloaded Throat Baby. That's what you listening to.
Correct. But we've always kind of had that type of music, and we've had another type of music too. We had Public Enemy, Fight the Power, and it just seemed like one of them went down and the other went up. But why,
Brandon? Who own these music people?
Well, it's a group.
And what they doing in Israel right now, busting and fighting. So they bring that busting and fighting in the music. Right. So that's what sells.
Correct. But we can't act like that didn't sell too, or that wasn't popular. Like we got to get back to shows that make sense, and we so wrapped up in drama and mess that we can't get into something that's good for us. This stuff ain't good for your soul.
We don't own nothing.
You don't even necessarily need to own anything now. We can shoot. We've got the technology. We've got the cameras. We can shoot our own shows now and put them on YouTube.
Okay, Brandon, you go to the train station to transport your box of apples.
Okay.
Who owns the train to move it across the country, Brandon?
I got you. But do we not have people in position that could do this kind of stuff? Do we not have entertainers with money that could do this kind of stuff, that create their own network like we've talked about before? They got to want to see it. We got rappers trying to, what they had, Snoop Loops, and they blocked it. We got to try to get back on that and be like, no, Kellogg, no, you're not blocking Snoop Loops. We're going to let that cereal live.
It is. It's called Snoop Cereal now. And they teamed up. Watch this.
Go ahead.
Master P and Snoop Dogg got the apples in the box. But the train is owned by Post. So they gonna put the product on the Post train and ride it out. And that's fine. And that's what the people want. But black people want ratchet stuff. That's what we like. We like all the stuff.
We do.
We don't like to learn about science.
No.
We don't like to learn about history. We don't like to learn about, we fantasize Anglo-Saxons lifestyles.
Correct.
We picked up their lifestyles. We don't have a lifestyle no more. So
I'm glad you said that, because you reminded me of something. I was watching, I don't know if you know or not, but Charleston White has a YouTube show and a podcast, I guess, and he had somebody on there, and they were just kind of breaking down why he says the N-word. And he was saying, well, I say I'm the last N-word, and the guy was saying, like, the N-word with the A at the end, those were the black people that used to stand up and have to deal with the racism and stuff like that. It's not necessarily like we say it today. They looked at it as a different thing. You know what I'm saying? Like those the N word with the A, or when they got it called the ER, it was a type of black man that had to deal with the racism, the oppression, the segregation. So they took it and they were like, yeah, that's what I am, you know, and we kind of flipped it into something else now, and it's different. I think that's what Charleston White is trying to convey.
If what color is the KKK rose, Brandon?
Their robe is white.
If they change it to blue, is the meaning behind it still the same?
Is the meaning behind it? No, it's the same thing. Yeah.
Okay. And the word was an ER. We changed it to A, but ain't the meaning behind it still really the same?
But it is. But I just didn't understand why Charleston White would say he was. But I guess what he's trying to say is that type of black man is gone. We got a different spawn now. Like those people were stand-up people. They were doing stuff in the community. They were trying to do the right thing and dealing with all the oppression and stuff. Now we got a different group of ends out here now, and they're just kind of running and terrorizing their own community. He was saying that's not the same thing they're talking about when they're saying the N-word. Just because I don't follow Charleston White that much, and I don't understand a lot of the stuff, but I did learn a little bit from his podcast and how he was saying the guy he was interviewing, he looked up to him like a father, and he said he had I guess it was like a gambling spot, but they called it the church or something like that. But not get too much into it, but he was saying y'all can fight outside, but when you come in here, Crips and Bloods, y'all not gonna be fighting with each other, because I'm not having that in my establishment. And that's kind of the stuff they used to stand on and try to control the gang stuff, the violence and all that stuff, because it's unnecessary. We shouldn't be killing each other. We should be fighting with each other. We should be not saying going against our oppressor, but we're not the enemy. We're not our own enemy. We should be building with each other. We should be buying from each other.
Buying.
Yeah, but we don't. We buy from somebody else. We buy from people who don't like you. They don't value you as much as you should be valuing yourself and the stuff that you build and create.
You know what happened a week ago, Brandon?
Go ahead.
now I'm about to say this. It's against one of my rules, but I'm about to say it. Okay. I was listening to a pastor that I listened to on the internet. Mm-hmm. They in Alexandria, Virginia, and is doing a fasting, mm-hmm. and all the money raised to this fasting is going to help a person. Okay. So I mailed a check for $500, Brandon. Guess why I mailed a check for? Why? Because they could buy a black girl from being a sex slave, Brandon.
Mm. So how do you feel about that? Did
you hear me, Brandon?
I heard you. I
paid $500.
Did you know that? Did you know that?
Yeah, I knew that. Okay. So these people in Ghana could go to the market, and buy a young girl so she won't get shipped in the Middle East and Europe.
So to be having sex, right? So do the laws in Ghana like that? I didn't even understand, because you sent me a text about the government knowing about stuff like this, correct? Is that
you see my source? You see at the bottom?
Yeah.
U.S. Department of State.
Yeah. So clearly, like, you know, I don't know. It's not like we don't know this stuff exists around the world, but what can we do about it? Like, what if that's all they know and it's okay and that's normal for them? If you grow up in that, what do you? I mean,
nah.
But go ahead.
Ghana is when I say the word Ghana, you know exactly. You may not know the location, but you know exactly what I'm talking about, right?
I do. But why are we letting that happen then? Why? Go ahead.
It shows the problem was wrong with black people. Mm-hmm. The year is 2023. Right. They are still selling man and women, mm-hmm. boys and girls for forced labor and sex slaves in the Middle East and Europe. Right. The United States completely knows what's going on. They even have numbers, but nobody's coming to save nobody.
But are they profiting off this? Like, why not? Like, you know, they try to how much money did we give Ukraine? And we can't even do anything about this. It's like, are our hands dirty? Is it more secrets that we don't know about? Like that. I mean, I'm not even saying this is a secret, but
don't even blame the U.S. How about the black folks in Ghana? Why
but
you letting
or the ones that come over here and look down upon us for not doing what we do? Let us know about stuff like this that's going on that you know about that you don't even speak about. Like, I don't know how you feel about people over there, but they're still. Do you find a connection like I think we've talked about that before? Like, do you have a connection like that?
I found a connection. This
Okay.
this me thinking about it. I cried last week thinking about the little girls getting sold
right.
In the middle, because guys are nasty,
Right.
and what they doing to them girls, Brandon.
Right. And like I said, I have a daughter, so my heart goes out to people like that. And like I said, we try not to think about that, but we can't just ignore it and act like it's not really going on when we know it is. And the U.S. knows it's going on too.
Now, this is from the State Department. Traffickers lure Nigeria women and girls to Ghana with the purpose of good jobs and converts them into commercial sex to pay, what's that word, Brandon? Mm-hmm. Exorbitant debts for transportation and login. Traffickers also expect some Ghana and Nigerians labor immigrants in commercial sex and demand more money for transit and document costs. Women and children are forced into sex trafficking in the Middle East, Brandon, Europe, and Western Africa. Now, per Dr. Claude Anderson said the first people who started to explore Africa in slavery was people in the Middle East.
Mm.
And if you want to see examples of exploring now, go to Egypt and see Arabian East people thinking they built the pyramids, which is a lie. Go to the Egypt and look at the artifacts and the hieroglyphics, and they showed Black people as the kings and queens.
Right.
Go to Egypt and look at the hieroglyphics when the Arabian people took over, and they drew pictures that look like Arabian people.
Mm-hmm.
So they was drawing who they saw. Black people had no shirts on with a whole bunch of jewelry. When the Arabians took over, they showed Arabian people with long clothes and cloths.
Yeah.
The same shit they wearing now. Exploitation, Brandon. And these people are going to the Middle East, Brandon. They're going to Europe. And watch this at the bottom. You see those 3 red dots?
Mm-hmm.
Italian, Germany is some of the destinations these girls go to.
Yeah. And a lot of people don't like to talk about that kind of stuff. And it's like it's supposed to be hush hush. And the US knows about it. A lot of countries know about it. A lot of high profile men like to do this. They like to go over there and have fun like this. And it's disgusting. We gotta end this kind of stuff. It's like I say, it's 2023 and we still got this going on. Do people want it to stop? No, they don't want it to stop.
And if you won't get sold into sex slave, this is what they do in Ghana. They'll take that person and tell them you need to work in the mines to dig up gold.
Right.
You need to work on a boat to fish to get fish, and we're gonna pay you 2 cents.
Right.
You know what
right. And they do. They have to do it. It's just part of how they see the world. Like, because that's all they know. It's either I'm gonna be a slave, or I'm gonna be working over here for no money at all, or I'm gonna be in a sweatshop, or I'm gonna be making stuff for Americans or richer people, and this is what all I have to aspire to.
So, in my opinion, Black folks got something in their hold on. I'm gonna say this right. For the past 1,000 years,
Mm-hmm.
Black folks got something in them that we ain't gonna fight nobody else. But if we see another person, if we see our father, our mother, our sister, our cousin, our neighbor that look like us, we'll rag that person out.
Yeah. And we got to get away from that.
Rag them out. And this is the motherland. A lot of people, if you could go to any place in America, me, a person from Africa, a lot of people come from Ghana, but they don't say nothing about this.
Yeah. And like I said, we kind of know this stuff go on. You hear a story here or there on Facebook or the internet or whatever, but nobody's gonna do anything about it.
Well, we got to do something about it. Obviously, the U.S. is looking at the numbers. The Middle East is getting this cheap labor or getting these young girls out there to do what they want to do. And so places and our NATO allies are getting some of these girls.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't believe me, y'all could go to Pornhub, type in the word African in there and see what comes up. And you may not see sex slaves, but you'll see something not too damn far off from it.
Speaking of that, my daughter wanted to look up some African dances. So I was like, well, let me look on YouTube and see what I could find. So we found some African dances. How about it was a lot of nudity on there, like breast out, everything.
Yes.
Is that should that be something that's allowed on YouTube? Because it's cultural. Go ahead.
Brandon, YouTube and Facebook pick the winners and losers.
Okay.
Our channel get flagged for crazy stuff. But I could go to Facebook and YouTube and see somebody get killed.
Right. Over and over and over again.
Over and over again. I can see naked people over and over. I can see, and this ain't National Geographic.
Right.
This naked people in Walmart. You know what I mean? You know? So they pick and choose who gonna win, who gonna lose.
Correct.
That's why we need to start bringing our apples to the train, and we need to get our own train.
Correct.
And the apples.
Correct.
So you want me to go to something else, Brandon?
Yeah, let me do this one real quick. Hold on. Oh, this is yours.
But you got something?
I was gonna do the Shannon Sharpe thing.
All right, you got it.
Let me see if I can because it was showing both of them. Oh, that's weird. So Lewis, right. we do like Shay. We like Shay a lot. But
I like
do you think this was do you think this was a real thing? You think he was that mad at the game?
Yes. Brandon,
why?
This guy grew up, is from country part of Georgia in the 1970s.
Correct.
And if you just listen to my mom describe growing up in the country in the 50s, they had to fight every damn day. You always got to fight somebody. So, and he played a professional violent sport.
Yep. Got some head hits. But listen, so why not get on Skip? Like, is that coming? Because he seemed like, I mean, him and Skip are good friends, of course, but I haven't seen him blow up on Skip like he should.
Brandon, you gonna throw away $3 million?
He messed his money up a little bit, almost with this, and had to apologize. And I didn't like to see him have to apologize on there. Meanwhile, Skip didn't really even apologize. Skip didn't apologize for what he did.
Skip got the complexion for the perspective.
There you go. But so if Shannon didn't apologize, I think he did apologize because he felt like he was wrong, and that's what men should do sometimes. You should apologize. But when you're on the same broadcast when somebody else mess up and they don't apologize, and he even said, "No, I ain't apologize because I wasn't wrong."
Brandon, right now, I could give you $10 million. I could put you on YouTube. I could call your mama everything in the world and your wife. And your ass ain't gonna hit me.
So you think that's kind of what's going on?
Yeah.
But listen, do you think this because he had? So you think Shannon Sharpe doesn't have the money?
Brandon,
he has the money.
Brandon, he getting easy money now, Brandon.
But
but inflation, Brandon, inflation. He got a lifestyle now, Brandon.
But I think he is also building his own thing as well, and How long? I mean, Undisputed is a good show. I don't necessarily watch it as much anymore, but he's great at what he does. And like we've talked about it before, he is the draw on that show. But you need the complexion to get other viewers to watch it too. So
And remember, like we said in our last segments, black on black, we get very angry at a black person. We get very
Right.
angry at a black person,
right.
but not necessarily at a white person.
But do you think that stems from slavery, or like it's a thing like in us? We can't go full at them like we can go full at each other.
Brandon, every black person, most of the majority of black people in America lives under a society that tells you white is superior and black is inferior.
Correct. But a lot of people don't want to admit to any of that kind of stuff.
They don't know, Brandon. Most people dumb, Brandon.
Okay.
Most
But
people, you saw me reading these words. I can't say the words. So imagine a regular person on the street.
I was struggling too, but that's my thing. Like, I want to read, because we read a lot. I read a lot of comments, and I know you do, and you respond and stuff like that. But people they feel like they so right in their takes and how they feel about that kind of stuff, and it's not. I don't ever see like, well, I kind of get what you're saying. It's like, no, you're wrong, and this is why you're wrong, and I'm right, and listen to me, and just think how I think, and everything will be okay. Even though that's not how things work.
What you referring to? Which comments you referring to?
Just how they feel like we're racist, and we've already talked about how black people can't be racist, which I tend to hear what you say on that, but you still can be. But we don't have any power, and we don't have a history of enslaving a group of people. So when I go ahead,
Brandon, we discussed this in the deeper thing. To keep systematic racism going, you got to deflect at all costs.
And deny.
Like I said, Skip cannot apologize. He didn't done. See,
he didn't do nothing wrong.
Me and you was raised in this stuff. Every black person in America was raised in it. If you just sit back and look what's going on, you'll see the scam.
But do you think we should move that way too? And just, if you do something wrong, don't even admit to it. Don't even apologize. Get on code like they are on code with how they feel and how they move.
Brandon, I've been wanting to say this for a while.
Go ahead.
Black people is the only people in the world that can save the world. Right now, the Anglo-Saxons are killing each other in Europe.
Okay.
Right now, the Anglo-Saxons are polluting and stealing all the resources and everything in America. In Asian, right now, the Chinese people are causing what you call it when the world heats up.
Oh, global warming.
Look,
with all
they burning coal. They trying to take Taiwan and watch this. Ain't America take Taiwan in the 1900s? They bought it for $3 million. How can you buy people, Brandon? How can you buy a country? But
they've done that in the past, so
and you see over there in South America right now, they're killing each other over selling drugs to Americans. The only people that can save the world, if you take a black person, you can't have them around black people because they're gonna fight each other. If the black people, we the only people can save the world, Brandon.
So do we need to move over in these different continents to help them?
No, they need to move. They need to come back home.
They need to come. And where is that? Africa?
Nah, come back to your mama. Your mama is a black woman. All the Asian ladies.
They don't claim that.
All the Asian ladies, come back home. Your mama's black. All the Hispanic people, come back home. Your mama is black. All the Middle Easters, come back home. Jump over Egypt because you're already claiming that. That's a damn lie. Come back home. Your mama is black.
But when they say we're one species, we're all the same. I mean, that's ultimately what we're saying too at the same time. But they're not going to see what you're saying right here. Like we all come from the same thing, and it is black. Whether the people want to believe that or not, but it's just something to think about. But like back to like what you're saying, like we are tearing the world up, and it's because we want things to be faster and quicker, and we want better technology and all, and we want to show people we got diamonds, so we're mining the earth, and we got to burn gas, so we got to mine more gas, and we're tearing the planet up. And go ahead.
If you don't put no control on the Asian people, they'll fish all the fish out the damn water, Brandon. And people, you may think I'm saying something racist, but if you read reports, they would get all the tuna out the water.
But last time I went fishing, I was talking to a guy. He was talking about how we're overfishing. I was like, yeah, we're definitely overfishing the ocean. But if you on the bridge fishing or you on the surf fishing, you can't keep a fish that's a certain size. Do you think when they overfishing, they're throwing the fish that are too small back in the water? No, they're keeping everything they get. So it's definitely wiping out certain species of fish. And like you say, with lobster, they say lobster's disappearing, is jacking the price up. You cannot keep doing what we're doing to this planet, or it's not going to last. You tearing up the coral reef and all that kind of stuff. So
yeah, here's a cold hard fact for people listening. What you got? A lot of people in the world in poverty, right, Brandon? No water, correct. No nothing. If you gave every person $100 to buy something, the world would explode. So if everybody had the luxury of Americans, this world cannot exist.
You're right. And I guess that's a good way of looking at it. Like you can't can you have a balance where everybody's on the same level? I know you said
it's too late, Brandon. We eat meat every damn day.
Right. And like I say, when I do the health slide or whatever, we gotta stop consuming meat so much, because just think about how many hamburgers were made today, how many steaks were made today, or just in an hour that people consume. Like if you go to a grocery store in your town, like how much pounds of meat is in there, and how many cows have been killed because we want to have hamburgers, we want to have steaks, we want to have milk. You can't produce milk unless a cow is pregnant. So how many cows have been forced to be pregnant? And it's just a lot going on.
And for you to eat a hamburger, 5 people had to starve to death.
Right. But you gotta feed the cow, which you could have been feeding a person, with all this grain. And it's just depleting the resources we have on this planet for the greed of us. We want to have the best steak, or we want to eat steak all day, or want to have a Baconator. It's got 3 patties. It's got 12 pieces of meat on 12 pieces of bacon on it. So we got to think about things long term, not just short term.
And if you do not believe me, because people don't study history, China started to turn around in the 90s. So when China started to turn around and build a middle class, people got more cars, burning more electricity. And you see how quick the heat skyrocket? Global war. That's your example right there.
Right.
If China was still a scumbag, well, okay. If China was still a scumbag, we won't have so much global warming going on.
But like you say, they want tech cities, and we want all this stuff to be instant. We want 5G, and then soon we're going to want a faster connection than that. All this stuff is heating up. And like I say, the winters are going to be colder and the summers are going to be hotter. And, it's just not good. And every year it gets worse. So you can ignore it. You can ignore it, but,
California had a drought for 3 years. For the past several months, it rained a couple of times out the whole California, messing up.
Right,
they got too much water.
Got floods.
Make
right.
it make sense.
Right.
Make it make sense.
Right.
From one extreme to the other. South Carolina, early this month, Brandon, 72 degrees one day. The next day it was 30.
Right.
Then back to 60, a tornado watch come up on your tornado watch.
Right,
and we in the wintertime talking about tornado.
Right. Same thing here in Georgia. Like one day it had to be like 65 degrees. I was like, damn, we're gonna have a lot of business today because it's warm. People could be out. Next day it was like 28 degrees. So this stuff is not normal. It's something is off. But if we keep trying to ignore it and keep focusing on other stuff, and we're gonna have a serious problem on our hands. But I trust, I guess we should just trust the government. They're gonna be handling it. They got our best interests at heart. Did you have you? I want you to do the Asian shooter slide, since we've been talking about Asians a little bit. And like I say, we don't hate Asians, but
Now I don't know. Shit, I got. Wait, hold on. I'm about to put it up there. Now, Brady, in the news, we had a lot of Asian people allegedly doing a lot of mass murders on their New Year's holiday, half moon or something. I think this guy went to a club and assaulted and wounded and killed quite a few people. Also, you had another Asian guy went to his former job, shot and killed a few people, and they asked him why he done it. He said, my boss tried to charge me $100 to get the forklift fixed. Now, all these guys I'm about to be controversial. All these guys was immigrants. Do we need any more immigrants shooting up the place, Brandon?
we don't. But let me before I I was about to say, listen. We got an immigrant problem for sure. That's a lot of Asians in Asia too. Like I'm not sure, and it's a lot of illegal. And I want to say illegal people, because you can be an immigrant and you can be legal in America, right?
And or you could be immigrant, be once legal, then your stuff lapsed over, then you come illegal,
right?
Paying no taxes,
right? And it's funny you say that. Somebody came in. I mean, because it's a lot of people over here illegally, and I see them on the regular. Somebody actually came in for a job. They were asking, are we hiring? She barely spoke English. I was like, oh, okay.
Brandon, this is a blessing from God, Brandon.
No,
Brandon, this is a blessing from God. What you say?
She was telling me she worked
Spanish.
Yes, and a little English. She was telling me that she worked at a pizza place for 2 months and she was looking for some more work. And she barely spoke English. And I was trying to tell, I was like, well, do you have any experience in the kitchen or in the back washing dishes or whatever? She's like, oh, yeah. She just kept saying, yeah. And I was like, well, I can get your phone number and try to talk to you. But she was like, well, can you pay me in checks? I was like, oh no, we can't do that. Can you pay under the table? No, we can't do that.
Brandon, I've been praying to God that somebody come in there. God delivered. God was going to deliver you somebody.
Because you know what? And when I told her that, I was like, no, because we can't do it. But do you think they could have somebody undercover trying to bust different places? I could have thought she was an immigrant and didn't speak English and then start working and then maybe
Brandon, she's a 1099 employee. You know what? She's 1099.
No.
They can't bust you. You didn't file your
taxes. Not only that, and then other. So okay, so I'm paying her, and if I pay her on the table, and then I'm paying somebody else the right way, and they getting taxed.
Brandon, God delivered a person to you. I've been saying this for months. I said, God, let her get it. And Brandon go turn God blessed away.
No, God
and she came to
you. Luckily, God sent somebody else. He was an American. He spoke English. He's got plenty of experience in the kitchen. I've been training him. He's doing great. And so next week I won't be working as much because he's actually working out. So I went with.
I'm not. She worked 4 hours. She paid her $40.
And I thought about it, but I was like, I can't do that.
Kind of nice, $40. Show up every single day.
Listen.
Ready to go.
So why can't? So can you do that technically? Can you do it? No, you can't.
You got a 1099, Brandon. You got a 1099, Brandon. Do it the correct way. If you want the 1099.
So I hear what you're saying, but no. So, but
She pay her own taxes.
But she's not
pay
gonna be
her
able
own
to do it. She's not gonna be able to do it.
I don't care what she do with that damn paper. You know, 1099. You can found us if you want to. You can found it if you ain't want to. And I'm legal.
I hear you. I hear
Boy,
that's
God came to you with a blessing, Brandon.
He did. He
You
did. That
go
wasn't
get
it.
them
No,
damn-
that was the devil. That was the
Nah,
devil
you
trying
go
to
get
tempt
them
me.
damn teenagers. I'm on my cell phone. You could get this lady who walked over here, smuggled in the avocados, walked 30 miles,
Right.
transport
And-
states,
Right. But
3 aliases.
So and let me ask you this: what if ICE come in and she working?
You 1090, Brandon, you 1099. How the hell? Hey, she gave me this episode why I paid it. This is her name. Proof of identity. This is her name.
They're gonna be like, okay, well, did you do a background check? Did she give you any paperwork?
Yeah,
Did
she
she
give me ID.
Well, you know she ain't got no good ID.
Hey, if the ID is legit, it's legit. How the hell you ain't the damn
What DMV?
examiner? You know, if the ID legit, it's legit. Sure, you may have the name and not match the face, but you just going by what's on the card.
Okay, well, back to this Asian crime, or some kind of Asian hate, but it just
Get a
seems
phone
like
number, Brandon.
no, I did. As soon as I said that, she
God,
was
Brandon.
gone. She was out of there. She was out of there.
And she was gonna tell her friends, and you had a whole crew in there.
And then ICE gonna swoop in and get all.
Why would ICE go swooping in and nobody don't call them, Brandon?
Blue.
Brandon,
They'll huh?
I worked a decade at a place allegedly,
Mm-hmm.
and everybody around me had, and everybody around me had 2 names.
I'm a small business, not no factory that's used to running things illegally. They be looking for a reason.
No, Brandon. I didn't say that. I said
Okay,
allegedly.
Okay.
And I said this before E-Verify came out, and they was grandfather in. Once you get grandfather, you can't go nowhere else.
Right, but you know what? You know how many illegal workers at some of these chicken factories and just these big factories in general. They know what they're doing. They know how they shortcut people and get away with it. And the government knows
shortcutting, Brennan. They paying these people.
Okay, but who is it hurting? Who is it hurt? It's hurting us. It's hurting regular. It's not I'll say lower class people, but it's hurting regular people who just want a regular job.
It hurts black people. Every immigrant that comes over here directly hurt a black person.
Right. And we don't see that. Like that was saying, if I hire her, I'm kind of hurting regular people because I'm hurting her too, because I understand she's taking a risk doing what she's doing, so she's gonna take less money to do what I need her to do. But that's also hurting people around me, the people I have employed, and it's like I say, it's hurting regular people with trying to get a job in this economy.
Brandon, we have a video that goes step by step how increased immigrants can hurt the black person. They did a scenario.
Yeah, we did.
And the outcome was Brandon family would do a lot better. His black wife, black daughter, black brother, black mom, black father, black everybody would do a lot better if they had a person at a reasonable price.
We would.
And ain't you tried to hire a lot of black people, Brandon?
I'm not gonna say a lot, but I have tried to hire black people, yes.
And did you find it? Did they have some difficulties?
Yes, for sure.
Oh, okay. So you gave an opportunity, but people brought difficulties.
But am I helping the issue of illegals coming over here? Because if they can't get work here, they're not going to come over here. But if they continue to get jobs and take job positions from regular citizens of the U.S., it's going to increase the problem, and we're going to have an influx of them coming over, and it's not going to stop.
Brandon, you gave preferential treatment to the black folks.
That's all I have to do.
and they came. They said, "Okay, you gave us preferential treatment. No, this allegedly. He didn't really do this, but just listen to me.
Right. Go ahead.
He gave preferential treatment, and I'm gonna bring some illegal stuff into your establishment.
So I should be B1, but then immigrant 2. So if the B1 don't work out, then I go immigrant 2.
Get the best person for the job. And
that's legal.
Yes. And in the back of your mind, without saying nothing, allegedly preferential treatment. But if they mess up, hey, get the best person for your job. Because you're trying to feed your family.
Right. But it's just so interesting. Like, you know how we talked about how you got to be and manage people and you got to tiptoe with certain stuff. Like, how would that be with somebody illegal and they're in your workplace? They could be causing all kind of mischief or problems for people around me and me, and for customers too. So
it's not going to happen, Brandon. That's the point, to hire somebody on the table.
So why is it not going to happen?
You got no laws to abide by.
Because she don't
get the hell out. You come here again and call the cops.
Well, that's dirty. I can't do that.
Yes, you can, Brandon. It's no problem.
It's no problem, but
you can do that with no problem, Brandon. If a person messes, okay, I told you to get temp workers at one point, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know the good benefit by a temp worker?
What?
You can say, get the hell up out of here. with no problem. Because you don't work for me. You work for them. And I pay them. Who pay you? You don't work for me.
Right. I get what you're saying. But they're legal. Like they have, like I say, it's kind of like
allegedly.
For the temp service? I'm talking about the temp service. They're legal.
Allegedly. But you didn't check no DNA. You didn't check no DNA. How you know somebody's correct?
Let me tell you how I can tell if somebody's legal. If you can't speak English, you probably not legal. I'm just going.
Brandon, Florida got Americans.
Well, I'm not in Florida. Like I said, Brandon, Florida is a little different. Florida is different for sure.
Brandon, that's ignorance. How you talking, Brandon?
I'm doing the same thing cops doing. I'm profiling. I'm calculating stuff in my mind. I'm like, okay, you don't speak English. You in Georgia right now, and you asking for a job. Let me guess. I already knew we was gonna head there. She's don't have any papers. She want to work under the table. We can't do that.
A pregnant woman from South America could come here illegally tomorrow, have a baby on United States soil,
and the baby
that child grows up in all Spanish community speaking up Spanish. That's American, Brandon. Per the Constitution.
For the law, yeah, you're right.
So how can you tell they don't speak no English?
I just know. First of all, the lady was about. I think I asked her age. I was trying to get to her age, and it took me a minute to get how old she was. But I think she told me she was 38.
Why are you asking for ages, Brandon? You about to F yourself up.
No, I need to know how old you are, where I can put you, what kind of skills you have.
Okay. There you go. See, that's the thing right there. Right. You gotta be over 18 to work here. So
well, that too. Like, I gotta make sure I'm gonna be able to put you in the area, and you're not too old. You're not gonna be able to work. If you're 58, you're not gonna be able to probably keep up in the back or keep up in certain areas. So
did she drive a car or she got out of the car?
I didn't see. She just walked in. Somebody was like, "We got somebody that don't speak English coming in." So. And not to mention, sometimes we'll have it's a group of guys. I guess they're part of a lawn care service, and they barely speak English. But like I say, they have enough where they can order, they can point to what they want, and they, like I said, they're still here. They're still thriving in America. They have a business. They're working for somebody. Maybe it's somebody who is established here, but a lot of immigrants are coming over here and getting money and not necessarily taking jobs, but they are taking jobs from people in a way.
That lady could have worked 12 hours at $8 an hour, Brandon. 12 hours. And I wouldn't be able to $8 an hour. Every 15 minutes, you got to pay her $2.
Right. And I wouldn't be able to sleep.
Shit. That's what you do when you own your own thing, your own business.
Is that so? So business number one. I mean, business advice. Hire.
No. You tried it done in the right way, but Brandon worked too damn much. We can't record more than one time a week because he's always at work.
Correct. But like I say, next week I'm not gonna say I'm barely working, but we've got somebody he's working out, and we got some more people coming that are legal. So I'll be working less and be able to record more. So there you have it. I held out. I blocked not saying blocked, but I didn't get desperate and hire immigrants with no paperwork and can barely speak English.
You didn't know that, Brandon. You profiling. You said, you know what?
If I ask you a question, if I ask you what's your name, and you don't even know what I'm saying, and she trying to keep explaining to me where she worked and this and that, and then I asked her how old. I had to ask her how old you are and kind of tell her, like I had to point to myself. I said how old I was, and I was like, how old are you? And then she was, oh, okay.
She said, Trent the Oncho. No, that's what you said, 38?
No, she actually said 38 though. So
okay,
just goes to show she does know some stuff. But
what Brandon don't know, she speaks perfect English.
But what? Yeah, she
but
probably does.
It only comes out when you're talking about the money though. No,
right? Because if I try to pay her too short, like she's like,
she could be like, no, you won't be $100. That's what gonna be like. But I'm glad it's working out. But on this photo, man, Asian, it's just Asian crime. That's all it is.
But you do remember when some black guy was walking down the street, he punched an Asian person. And it was an Asian hate movement after that. Why? Why is it why?
Brandon, we had at that point in time, we had too many black people attacking innocent Asian people for no reason.
Is it? But I hear you. You're right. I think black people attack a lot of innocent people all the time, though. I think that's just something that happens.
What is you talking about, Brandon?
So you don't think crime happens? You don't think assaults happen? Assault is happening right now.
You just said black people attack a lot of people all the time. Like we the super predators.
I'm not saying no, that's not what I'm saying. Everybody does. People are committing crimes right now, all the time. Somebody's getting assaulted right now.
Brandon, if I rewind your statement, how you said it.
It sounds wild, but it's going down.
Black people attack all these people all the time.
This world is a big place. There's a lot of people here. Correct? It's just, crime is happening. People are getting R word. People are getting M word. People are getting shot. People are getting stabbed. Home invasions are happening. All this kind of stuff is happening in the world.
It's less now, Brandon.
How?
Brandon, in the 1970s, your papa, your grandpapa, and your great-grandpapa was more thuggish than the kids today.
Okay.
If you look at the numbers.
But was it more crime or less crime?
I think back then it was more crime, but here's the thing. They target people who was like doing the same thing.
What do you mean?
Today now they'll shoot at an older person, innocent person.
Yeah. I think it's no, it used to be a code. I think that's what you're trying to say. Like,
yeah,
it used to be certain people are off limits or certain, like an older person wouldn't just attack an older lady or an Asian person just for no reason. I think that's what you're trying to say. And that kind of stuff does happen. And I think it was out of character for what happened. And Asian people do get attacked, but they're not the only people getting attacked. Like, it's a lot of, remember we did that thing about the Jewish people getting attacked. That happens a little bit too, but we're getting attacked too. And something needs to be done about us being attacked as Black citizens.
It's the Black people who's talking to Black people. So what you gonna do, Brandon?
But it's a race thing now. So we only step in if it's
I say Asian or Asian crime.
But they don't see it that way. I think it wasn't all Asians that were attacked though, right? It was some. They would celebrate
their New Year's. He went to an Asian club with the
so it was. I thought it was some white people that got attacked too. Or
you gotta know they all white people's always in the mix.
But so white people should feel like they're being attacked too, right?
They are being attacked. That's why they don't stay next to other people.
What you mean they don't stand next to other people?
White people live around white people. Because if they brought you up in there, they're gonna attack you. A Black person come in, they're gonna be attacked.
I get what you're saying, but I get what you're saying, but like I didn't really hear. I wanted to hear more about the story. I wanted them to dig deep. They didn't dig deep at all for me. But anytime it's somebody else, it's a deep dive, and they try to say it's an issue that we need to fix, and we need to. I ain't hear too much about this at all. It just was like a blip on the radar.
Why they need to dig deep, Brandon? They
Because,
represent a small percentage of the American population,
but I
which
think
is the highest earners in America, but what percent small percentage?
Well, I think the media has to be fair issues like this because they do like to dig deep on other people. Now, I'm talking about white people that they'll go deep into who the person was. Sometimes, if it's a black person, they'll like to show their arrest record and stuff like that and paint different narratives. I don't know anything about these people, and I wish there was different coverage on it. That's all I'm trying to say.
Brandon, this man got arrested one time. He been over here. He got arrested one time in the 1990s for an illegal gun. That was it.
But and with us, if we do something like that, they'll spin into a whole different thing.
Brandon, who are checking for Asian people on television? If this ain't no Jackie Chan movie, who want to watch it, Brandon? They try to make money here.
I hear what you're saying. So you saying they're not the draw. Like if something like this happens and the shooter is Asian, people don't really care. But
if he didn't have no nunchucks,
so they need a storyline.
Samurai signs, people ain't checking for that.
Okay, I see what you're saying. And
now, audience, that may sound kind of
it does sound, but I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying.
But they ain't checking for that. You gotta have a nunch. You gotta be Ninja Turtles or Jackie Chan or something on there.
So that goes to the consumer, the viewers. Like if the story they can't make it into a good story, they're just gonna let it go. They're gonna report on it, let it go.
Yeah,
because nobody care. I got you.
The woman in Mexico, the black lady got her head snapped. They ain't report on that.
I don't even know about that story. What happened?
The Shaquinta, the girl.
Oh yeah. Right.
Mm-hmm. They didn't report on that till black people started talking about it.
Right. And do we even have a follow-up on that? Like, I guess it's still under investigation, kind of.
Why you need a follow-up? Watch this, Brandon. Who cares, Brandon?
I don't know. They put it on TV. Now I need to know how it ends. It's like a show. You're gonna put a show on and leave it. I need to know how it ends so I can have some closure.
The Walking Dead, they ended on Thanksgiving. They were having Thanksgiving at a house. That Walking Dead don't end with no damn Thanksgiving.
And I'm struggling to finish The Walking Dead. I haven't even finished it yet, but it's not looking good. Like I'm probably about 5 episodes until the end. They ruined it.
It's been bad for 5 years.
Right. But it was really good at one point, but
it was great. It was real great.
Yeah. But go ahead. What are we going to talk about?
I think this may be my last topic.
Okay.
Now, you had a guy while the organization was burning down to the ground, Brandon. They was 1-4.
Correct.
They fired the guy in the middle, paid him $1 million to stay at the house. He got another job a few weeks later, so he got 2 paychecks now.
Right.
The guy on the right side, I don't know how that shows up on your screen, but the black guy, he took over the season, 2/3 of the season with 6-6.
And what team is this? Because I can't even remember.
Carolina Panthers.
Okay, it's the Panthers. Okay.
Now, in 2/3 of a season, he won just as many games than the head coach won the year before with a whole season, and the year before that with a whole season.
Mm-hmm.
The Carolina Panthers chose to hire a guy that went 4-12 this year over
Is
the
that
guy
Frank? Is that the guy Frank?
Yeah.
Is that his name? Mm-hmm. But they kind of saw what the other guy on the right was doing because I can't remember his name. He was like, okay, we're starting to kind of get somewhere. He's changed. Yeah. He's changed. Guy? He's changing the culture a little bit. So now let's get him out of the way and bring in somebody else so he can get all their accolades and win. Kind of like when Tony Dungy kind of built that team and then they got rid of him and then they ended up winning the Super Bowl with the other guy. But that's just that's just how it is. Like, it don't matter what it is, whether it's with cops, it's the NFL, the NBA, entertainment. It's a difference between how they treat people depending on your race. And we can show you example after example, but it's racism in the United States, and it's in all these different things. And you can try to look at it and say, no, it's not. He got a fair shot. Pull your bootstraps up, stop complaining, but it's just not fair. And this is what happens. And the black coach he just know I gotta try to do my best. It don't matter how good I do. He could win a Super Bowl. They still be trying to almost get rid of him. But that's just how it is. Because they don't want you to be the head of it. They don't want it to look like, oh, he's the one. They don't want him to be the leader. They wanted him to look a different way.
Now, this is not with every organization. I go defend the NFL. I rarely go say this. This is not with. Yes, this is not with every organization. Pittsburgh got Mike Tomlin.
Mm-hmm.
He's one of the youngest coaches to ever win the Super Bowl besides last year.
Mm-hmm.
They done a great job with him. But there's 32 teams over the past almost 100 years that pooped on black people so many times.
Mm-hmm.
And look at this record. The players like this guy.
Don't matter.
They got rid of a quarterback. They got rid of the superstars, and he was managed to go 500 and had them in the playoff hunt.
Right. And like I said, he doesn't have his quarterback. He don't have his staff like he want. They barely let him finish the season.
And they got rid of him. So this is the NFL. Brandon, who you looking at? Your wife or something?
Oh no, I was trying to get our little commercials and stuff. Make sure, just in case she come home, because she was.
Nah, don't play commercials.
I know those
commercials. I didn't make none. Don't play none of them.
I'll just look at them.
But this is it.
So shit, is the NFL but is the NFL racist? Yeah.
Oh, I got something else.
What? Go ahead.
Yes. The NFL is a slave plantation economics. So the black players do all the work, but the people in the big house control it.
Right. Same with the NBA.
It's a little, at least the players got some say in the NBA.
And a little control.
Just a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Except if you use promote a book or a movie. Now, if you do that,
or just post a link, you don't have to promote it. Just
post a link can be promoting. But if you do that, you got no power at all, none at all, and they want you to crawl them back. But Brandon, here's another thing I want to go before.
Okay, go ahead.
The ATF came out with new rules on January the 13th, 2003. In 100 days, a stabilizing brace or unbrace.
Oh, I see it. Mm-hmm.
That is attached to a pistol will soon come with 10 years.
I never even seen that before. I never even seen. But let me ask you.
What you mean you ain't never seen one before?
I've never seen an arm brace like that before with one of the guns. Why Brandon, would you
pull in your background? I can't do it. Slow it down. Pull up a video that I posted that it says it's on our channel. Be legal. It shows something about ATF arm brace.
Hold on.
And can you talk while you pull it up?
Yeah. Is it something that you've done legal recently? I'm talking about legally.
Last 2 weeks. It's like
short?
2 minutes. No, it's like 2 minutes.
Let's see, January.
Like go on our content and just scroll down. Say something about ATF.
Share. Hold on. Let me share the screen real quick. Well, shoot.
Yeah, you can
said
share
it's something ATF. Okay, hold
on. Okay, scroll down. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. June. Okay, wait. Okay, keep going down. Down. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going.
I wonder where it is because I don't remember.
Keep going. I don't see. Keep going. Okay, ain't that far.
But it's ATF because I think I can search if it's on ATF. What's it?
Or type in arm.
There we go.
There it is. Play that video. You said you never seen that before, but here it is.
Hold on. Shoot. I gotta share the other video, other screen. It opened up in a different one. Hold on.
But audience, the ATF just passed new rules that they go classify this plastic little piece. Okay, Brandon can play it.
Can you hear it?
Yeah.
Wide nose having motherfucker. They said they never gave you niggas money. You don't know how to appreciate that.
Contact.
You know you get another pound. I'll be back. You black motherfuckers. Wide
Contact.
nose having motherfucker. They said they never gave you niggas money. You don't know how to appreciate that. You know you get another pound. I'll be back. You black motherfuckers. Wide nose having motherfuckers. They said they never gave you niggas money. You don't know how to appreciate that. You know you get another pound.
Not a stop.
That's crazy.
And everything I'm showing now is actually invalid beginning this year.
That's
They
crazy.
double changed the laws.
And why exactly do you think they want to change the laws now? I'm not trying to pause it.
All right.
You want to pause it?
Yeah, you can pause it. All right. And let me share this. Put this thing back up here. All right, Brandon. This brace was very controversial. It came out around 2011, 2012.
Mm-hmm.
The original design of the brace, it wasn't technically never attached to the gun.
Okay.
And they designed this brace because they had a disabled veteran. He wanted to shoot a AR-15,
Gotcha.
and he couldn't really shoot it without the brace.
Right.
So the feds said, okay, it's good to have, you can have this brace, but you can't break it up to your shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
And you saw the video that we just popped up there. Some
Right.
people would shoot it from the shoulder,
Right.
which some can see as, hey, you only shoot rifles from your shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't shoot a pistol for your shoulder. But the federal government decided this year that any person who has this brace gonna need to do a few things. Go to the ATF and register this brace and say you got a short barrel rifle, or they're gonna need to destroy the brace completely, or they could turn in their weapon into the federal government.
But do you think they think this is going to cut down on crime or gun violence, or
It's really not. You had some cases that a mass shooter did use a brace,
Mhm.
but it's really going to do, like I talked about this on our Glock Switch videos,
Mhm.
it can be a set up
Right. There you go.
to get a lot of people messed up.
Well, why would they do that though? Like, why would you? I'm not gonna say secretly change the laws because it's not a secret. But if you're not in the know, you're not gonna really know about it because you're gonna be looking at booty videos. You're gonna be looking at Blueface, and you ain't gonna be up on the information that you need to know about your guns.
Like I said last year, you flood the streets with legal stuff,
Uh-huh.
and then out of nowhere, the snap of the fingers, make it, make it illegal.
Right. After you've made all your money, you like this stuff ain't free. Like you had to buy this stuff, and now they're like, this is illegal. Turn
Ghost
it in
guns
or destroy it.
We saw this with ghost guns.
Mm-hmm.
flooded the streets for 9 years. Back in August 2022. Illegal. Switches, which been illegal the whole time, flooded the streets for 10 years. After out of nowhere, let's put everybody up on game and make it illegal.
Right, and get some real time behind it just for that, just for having a switch.
And these braces, it's estimated anywhere between 3 million and 4 million braces are out in America.
That's crazy.
So you go say all those people who got it are now felons, Brandon,
right?
In 100 days.
Right. And like we said last time, they're going to look at certain people and be like, you know what, we're going to let you slide. But other people, they be like, you may have to do some time. You may get arrested. You may have to get a lawyer. You may have to get a bail bondsman. I guess it all depends.
Brandon, you don't want to do these charges, Brandon.
What are
you talking about? You know, Brandon, you talking about something you bought legally.
Right.
Then you driving to the gun range, you get pulled over. They say that time you facing 10 years of federal crime.
right. For a brace, not the gun, just a brace.
No, now it's the gun. See, the brace, but if it's attached to the gun, now it's the whole thing.
I get you.
But here's the thing.
So can you have the brace separately?
Now they said you can't have the brace separately, Brandon. Which is the dumbest shit in the world. You remember I told you I could mail you a Glock switch and tell you to put it in your toolbox?
Right. And then
and you don't have to have the gun. You just have it. Now you're
in my possession.
But the difference between a Glock switch, they was always illegal.
Yeah.
Without the paperwork. This was legal at one point. And then in the snap of the fingers, now it's illegal. Now they want you to destroy this.
Right.
It's real, Brandon. This real complicated, Brandon.
Yeah, and not trying to give you no money back for it either.
That's what I'm saying. Or something. I gotta.
Is it one company that was making? I mean, because I know it's not just one company, but the first company that mass produced this. Do you know who that was?
It started off with one company. I want to see, can I bring a photo up here? It started off with one company. But here's the thing: what I only got the presentation on me, Brandon, because I wanted to show you. Because I did the video on my channel several months ago how these flirt with the laws, and they flirt with them so, huh?
Oh, I ain't saying nothing.
They flirt with us so tight. Yeah, I think it's me over here. It'll come up. They flirt so tight that they force lawmakers to make a decision because they push stuff right to the edge. And let me show you. Oh, come on, computer. This motherfucker right here. Here it is. Now I did this on my channel a long time ago. Now, when this arm brace first came out, Brandon, it was not technically attached to the weapon.
Gotcha.
Allegedly, the one that I may or may not own is not attached to the weapon. It's wedged in the weapon.
So can you detach it? You can still detach it though, right?
No, it's not. It's wedged in there. It used friction.
Okay,
in there.
I got you.
How they designed it now, they just straight up attached the damn thing to the weapon with nuts and bolts, and just took it way up to the line. Like if you can see this, you got green, yellow, and red, white. When they first made this, they stayed in the green area because it wasn't attached to the weapon.
Right.
But over the past 5 years, they bumped it right up to the yellow area. Now it's physically attached to the weapon.
It's too far. It's too far. Now it's a problem.
Now it's a problem. And they do this with a lot of stuff. Like, watch this. The Glock switches. We know about Glock switches, right?
Correct.
I said they could be legal and illegal, right?
Right.
So it's
Depending on who you are.
Yes,
If
it's
you're
no
a bit-
gray.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Now watch this. This was popular now. It's called a binary trigger. A binary trigger will go right up to the risky area because it'll turn a semi-automatic weapon to act like a automatic weapon. You know how it does that, Brandon?
How?
You pull the trigger, one bullet goes off, right?
Mm-hmm.
You let go of the trigger, another bullet goes off.
Gotcha.
I'm gonna say that again, Brandon. You pull the trigger, pow.
But
What bullet
do
you
you
off?
think that's dangerous? Like, you know,
Yes, it is.
But why would?
Because here's the thing: the law. I think the law says a semi-automatic weapon,
Mhm.
one bullet will go off with one movement of the trigger.
Yeah.
So you moved it twice, two bullets came out.
Mhm.
With automatic weapon, you move the trigger one, and all the bullets come out. But you see how they're pushing it?
Yeah.
Now look at this. The bump stock. The bump stock, they kind of changed the laws, took it to the yellow area. It made your gun act like an automatic weapon.
Yeah. Hold on 1 second, Lewis.
All right. The bump stock made your gun act like an automatic weapon. And after the tragedy that happened in 2017, President Trump made this weapon illegal. Right now, I think in the courts, they are trying to bring this weapon back to legal status. But in my opinion, on this type of weapon and this type of device, the intention of this weapon to make your gun make bump fire your gun pretty easily. So that can be seen as automatic. All right. Here's what we're talking about right here, Brandon. Now, this is, what do that look like to you, Brandon? Is that a pistol or a rifle?
It's a rifle.
All right. Before last year, it was a pistol. 10 years before that, it was a pistol.
Mm-hmm.
But now with this new law, since it has a arm stabilizer brace on it, they gonna say that's a rifle.
But why?
Because
and I'm ignorant when it comes to guns and what's a pistol and what's a rifle. And when I look at it, I look at the barrel. If it's an extended barrel, I guess I look at the magazine, how the magazine is, and that's how I classify something as a rifle, even though that's not necessarily correct.
Correct. I about to say, who is you? Talk about you classify. You classify something. And I just noticed something on this picture.
What?
Last year, this gun was illegal. How is it illegal? I say it was a pistol last year, which it was legal, but I just seen something to make it illegal. What do you see, Brandon?
It's not the scope.
It's not the scope.
The magazine looks fine.
The magazine looked fine. What is on a pistol?
The handle thing?
Yes, on a pistol, you cannot have a handle in front.
Mm-hmm. But
but
let me listen. But that's what I say. When I would look at it, it would look like it would be a rifle. So what's the difference between a pistol and a rifle? By definition,
I think the length, the barrel length, and the overall length of the item.
Okay.
And pistols cannot have a forward hand grip.
Okay.
So right now, last year, this was a 10-year charge right here by having that little plastic little hand grip.
Right.
Now, this, Brandon, I have one of those hand grips on a legal rifle.
Yeah, I thought about buying one for my rifle as well, just because it would help, or like the tripod thing that where you can kind of sit it down and it could stand up on its own while you're firing. But why would they make it illegal, or why would they think it needs to be illegal?
On a pistol, yeah.
But why though? Why? But
It's a-
what I'm
you-
not
you tur- you-
using this, but I'm
Right,
not using it to
nah.
hurt anybody, right?
Okay, Brandon, a submachine gun usually sometimes have a grip at the front so you can keep the barrel down. So
Right.
you could do maximize killing.
but that's what I'm saying. We shouldn't have it anyway because
But watch and see where
Go
I'm
ahead.
going.
Okay, go ahead.
You said you was thinking about buying a Ford grip for your rifle, correct?
Correct.
Do you have a pistol?
Yes.
If I take this Ford grip off your rifle and put it down, should I get a 10-year sentence?
No,
For having a piece that could go on to a pistol?
No, and that's why I say it doesn't make sense to me.
But they trying to pass a law that if you have an arm brace off the rifle,
Right.
but if it's still in your possession, you
Mhm.
still could get a 10-year sentence.
Correct.
That's like saying you can't have a stock on none of you can't have an empty stock laying around your house because
Right.
you could put it on a pistol and turn it to a short barrel rifle.
Or the same thing when it comes to how many bullets you have in your clip. Like I say, what if they say, well, if you have 20 in your clip, then now it's illegal and now you get 20 years because maybe we think if you got that many bullets, you be trying to kill somebody or do a mass shooting. Like it just seemed like the laws that they're passing don't make any sense. And they want to lock people up. And NRA should be fighting against certain judgments that are being passed or laws that are being passed like these.
MRA is bankrupt. They've been stealing money for 10 years. But there you go. That's who fight for you, the people who steal money. Now look at this photo, Brandon.
Go ahead. I see.
One photo. How many rifles is in this picture?
Looks like 3.
Which ones?
The one, it looks like, well, is that one? No, maybe 2. This is the one on top and the one on the right.
This one right here. I don't know. You can see the light color one.
Well, right there. Is that your mouse? Yeah.
All right. I see 2 rifles.
Okay. How so?
The one up top is a rifle. It's a short barrel rifle, so it requires special paperwork and a $200 tax stamp.
How could I change this and make it a pistol? Like, because I've seen guns like this or firearms like this, and they'd be like, "Oh, it's a pistol."
No, you can't go back to a pistol. This is a short barrel rifle, Brandon.
I got you.
All right, the one you said was a rifle at the bottom, the light color one, that is a pistol.
But like I say, they look identical. So how, I know they're not because, you get a close up. So what makes that one a rifle opposed to the one up top?
All right. Well, last year, the one up top has a stock on it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not an arm brace. The one at the bottom to the light color one has an arm brace. Now, with this new rule they're passing, the federal government, which says any weapon that looks like this, that this looks like it, gonna be classified as a rifle, and you required to have special paperwork.
But don't you think it sounds like they're scared? They're scared of something. Like they don't. It's like they know they can't ban all the firearms, so they're starting to kind of just throw ideas and kind of run with it and see if it does help or it does change laws. Because it should change the outcomes and as far as shootings and mass shootings. Because that don't make any sense. That don't seem like it's really going to solve anything. It's going to make gun owners more frustrated, if anything.
And watch this, what they put in there, Brandon. This is a real tricky rule. They said, I'm gonna paraphrase. If your weapon look like a weapon on social media, we're gonna classify we're gonna classify it as a short barrel rifle. It required to have this stuff.
That don't make any sense.
So if you have anything that looks like a rifle, we go classify it as a rifle.
How often do you think people get pulled over and their weapons are, I guess, assessed? Because do you think that happens? Like, say if you get pulled over and you tell them,
Brandon, all the time,
but
Brandon.
go ahead, because
All the time.
I'm not sure. So if you get pulled over and they tell you, they ask you, do you have weapons in the car? You know, you say yes. Does a search begin? Like, have you been pulled over and they ask you about your weapons and look at your weapons? Because I just haven't experienced it or talked to anybody
Yes.
about it. So what do they do?
I got pulled over for speeding. At the time, I was concealed carry permit. So I had to state I'm a concealed carry. The black cop said, "When I come back, keep your hands on the steering wheel." He didn't ask for the damn weapon.
All right.
Now, maybe if you're concealed carry, they may overlook. But Brandon, if you don't have a concealed carry and you say you got weapons in your car, they're running them numbers, Brandon.
Right. That's what
they go run every number. Like I said, when the man got pulled over in High Point, North Carolina, they wanted to know he had weapons. If he wasn't, they were gonna run every single number, every one.
Right. And I guess that's the right thing to do, because you want to get illegal guns off the street and you want to make sure that people are doing things the right way. But that's time consuming. That's making gun owners aggravated, I guess. I don't know. It's just a lot going on with guns. And do you carry a lot of guns with you? Because I know some people do. They carry a lot of guns in their trunk.
In Maryland, you only can carry a gun going to the gun range or leaving the state.
Okay.
You can't carry no gun nowhere else.
Really? Okay.
So if you go to the gun range, stop at the gas station, you're in violation.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
If you go into the gun range, came back, I can get stuff at the grocery store. And your gun and your pistol has to be ammo and gun, 2 separate locations. And also you need a lock in your barrel or on your gun. Like own your gun.
Physically own the gun and put up too.
In 2 separate locations.
But I just don't think that help. They don't help you when you're in the real world. Like, say you run into some criminals and you don't have your gun now because you weren't heading to the gun range or anything like that. It's just go ahead.
Baltimore had 600 carjackings a year. DC got 602 carjackings a year. But they say, hey, the law-abiding citizens,
right? And that's what I'm saying. That's who's suffering. The criminals are not necessarily suffering. The criminals are thriving with these laws when they're like this. And I think if they ease up on it and let people carry it, the crime will actually go down. Because the criminals know, look at him. He's just a regular guy. He's probably following the law and doing things the right way. So I know he don't have a gun on him. So I can run up on him, take whatever he got, and I don't have to worry about anything.
There's a sheriff in Texas that made a public statement. He said, criminals, please be aware a lot of people got guns in the houses.
Right.
Do not break into the house.
Right. And criminals know that.
Or you may get shot. So he's trying to tell the criminals, don't break into the houses.
Right. Same thing with people. Don't mess with nobody in Texas because you know they probably got a gun. And so it's gonna be a different situation.
So, but you have your good. We probably wrap this up pretty soon, right, Brandon?
Yeah.
But you had your good drawbacks. You had some people in Texas. It just rarely happens. Use a gun to stop a mass shooter. That rarely happens, but I don't tell you the truth, Brandon. I like concealed weapons. I don't like open carry, and everybody don't need to carry a gun in public. No, because you got too much hate and
people look kind of in a bad mood. They got a lot going on. You don't need people emotional with firearms and rifles. It can just be a bad thing. So, like I said, I'm with you on that. Concealed for sure.
And a gun would make some people bigger. See, as a black person in America, I'm about to talk about black experience. You got a mass shooter. If I choose to engage him and take him down, Now I got to worry about the cop shooting me in the back of the head.
Correct. You too.
Or somebody else. I see him.
Right. I think that happened one time when a guy was trying to shoot at a mass shooter or something like that. And you know, that's just hard to explain. You know what I'm saying? No, it's not me, it's him. You know, I'm shooting at him. So, you know, they pull up, they don't know who to believe. So it's just something to think about.
So I tell all the young black men, conceal carries before you be a hero. Do like they taught you in your training. Get that gun and exit out. and I said, and you say, if that motherfucker come to me, I'll go shoot him. But if they pop it, exit out. Don't that make sense, brother?
That makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense.
I say, if he come down this hallway, I got him. But if he don't, I'm gone.
Oh Lord! And on
Black
that, we'll wrap up right there. Louis, you want to end? Say anything before I give our wrap up?
All right, guys. Remember, the police officers, black or white, they still work for the system.
Mm-hmm.
They was never here to help people. They only pick up the bodies and report the incident. Right. With the Asian guys shooting up Asian people, you know, people shoot who they live by, so it's no big thing. With Shannon Sharpe, you know, Shannon Sharpe gonna act big and bad on a black person, but Skip, he ain't gonna do nothing to Skip. And Skip talk down to on national TV. And the Ghana people, black people, we need to start selling our old to other people to benefit.
Right.
You know, be black first. Quit selling girls to sex trafficking. You know, stop doing that.
Black girls too. And if, like in Blueface's relationship, if you're in a toxic relationship, try to get some therapy because, you know, I don't know if you know, but that girl drinks a lot, and that if you're violent and you're emotional, alcohol mixed with that, it's just not going to end well. So, you know, check the people around you, care about them, uplift them, pray for them. Louis, I'm gonna pray for you in your back. Hopefully you get some ice.
Oh yeah, I do. Boy, that could be a luxury tonight. I'll be at that ice thing right here.
That's how you know you're old. Like when you get older, you look forward to stuff like that. Getting some rest, get ice in your back, taking it easy. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I want ice in my back. I can get
but
better.
I'm just saying, but you know, when you're looking forward to something like that to relieve pain, to feel better, you know, that's a blessing. Like there's a lot of young people out here dying, and they're not going to be able to be the age we are or older. You know what I'm saying? They're not going to get that experience.
I always said this. Sometimes Nicole hear me saying this. Lock people up until their knees get bad. Once their knees get bad or bad, you can let them out because they ain't doing nothing else. they ain't doing nothing else.
That's a good point. The guy we hired, he was talking about he had hip replacement surgery, and like when you replace your hip and your knees, you're not the same person. Like that's something that you can't bounce back from the same way. So getting older, taking care of your body, eating right, exercise, and having faith, all these things play a part, and that's what we like to bring on this channel. So, you know, thank you for watching. Make sure you share some of our videos, like and subscribe. We'll try to do a video during the week. I know my co-host is going to be pushing for that, and we'll do one. We'll do a quick one probably Tuesday or Wednesday. So be on the lookout for that. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like and subscribe. It don't cost you anything to subscribe. Our subscribers are going up. We need more people watching our videos because we do have a lot of good videos, and it's not the same old every time. We touch on a lot of different things and have a good time on here. So just make sure you do that.
All right, y'all guys, take it easy. Make sure you share it out. Make sure you like it. Thank you.
All right, let me go ahead and end.